Ladies and gentlemen, now to read on hilarious excerpts from the book, it gives me great pleasure to invite on stage a lady whom we all know through her escapades on television. But she was also very exciting and creative and advertising professional as well. Please welcome Komolika Guha Thakurta.
Come, Komolika.
Yes.
Before she starts reading out passages from the book, Moshu. I must tell you this interesting thing. You know, years ago in Kolkata, on which city the book is actually written, there was a very famous address called 30 Bondel Road. Why 30 Bondel Road? Because 30 Bondel Road happened to be the office of what was then called HTA. Right? Now this is something probably you also don't know, but almost within a kilometer's distance from 30 Bondel Road HTA office was 38 Baliganj Place. And that 38 Baliganj Place incidentally was called GTA. Why? Because all the Go Thakurtas lived there. Right? And because all 5 of them had something or the other to do with advertising. 2 of them, including her father, was actually the HTA. So I think they all went and walked to, I used to always think they used to walk to office, come back home for lunch, have machis jal bhat.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. That is what we did.
And she's going to take you through some of the, I hope, the hilarious parts that I've chosen for you. And can we? Shall we? Sit down. The first is, I think you're taking on my first day in Clarion.
Yes, I'll begin with Shuchita's first day at Clarion. My first day in Clarion was quite boring. At least in lunchtime, when I was informed that the branch manager, Mr. Sharbujit Ray, wanted to see me immediately. I rushed towards Mr. Sharbujit Ray's office, knocked and entered. He was standing behind his table, phone in hand, smoking away and using foul language in Bangla, aggressively suggesting that he may chop off the balls of a client. There was nothing Madison Avenue about him. He wore Coverty's buckles, half-sleeved shirt, tucked into his trousers, very badly at that. Most of it was outside the trouser. There was an ash drum in front of him, actually an ashtray, but it was huge and spilling over with cigarette butts. Once he finished the call, he asked me to follow him. Where was he taking me? He went straight to the stairs and eventually ran down, as if he was in a hurry. I followed him and very soon we were out of the office, passing by Burlington's. We crossed the road and onto Park Street. It was all quite confusing. Where are we going, sir? To the branch office. Branch office? I thought I joined the branch office of Clarion, so where were we going? I did not dare to ask him further, but in no time we entered Olympia, now Ollie Pub, and joined a table full of senior guys whom I had seen in the office in the morning. Rum seemed to be the main order, but Dilip Sen, who was the regional director of Clarion, was sipping brandy. I was asked to place my order and I told the waiter to make my drink with soda. Someone overheard this and immediately told the waiter to make my bill separately, saying, "ये हम लोगों का नहीं है, सोडा के साथ पीता है."
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't think I wrote it so well as you read it. So if you want to appreciate the book more, I suppose you'll have to get her to keep reading it from time to time. You know, that's the only way. Thank you.
And now for the fun part. A panel discussion, trip down a memory lane, and a trip down the ages of advertising. To give their views, I invite on stage Creative Director, Southeast Asia O&M, and an accomplished actor, Shomanto Chattopadhyay, film historian and National Award-winning documentary maker, Sanjeet Narvekar, and a man who straddles advertising and film, ex-advertising professional, ad and filmmaker Raj Kaushal.
Thank you. Shomanto, I've also known his family I don't know how long back, let me not even talk about it. He also, long time back, I'm not even talking how long, and I have met him only yesterday. I mean, that's how it is. So I thought that if we could share, if you all could, gentlemen, could share your thoughts on the changing trends, both in terms of in the business of that's happening in the business of creativity, advertising, and the culture. That's what it is. So would you like to?
Since you have known him the longest, let him begin.
I think technology has just made life and advertising much more fast-paced. When I started, there were emails, all they were cut-paste artists, because when we had to create a layout of an ad, we had to find a picture from a book and photograph it and then combine it with something else. So agencies had dark rooms, and the presentations were made from slides. So it took a long time to put the thing together. And today what happens is that, an hour before you go to the client's office, you can on your computer put together a layout and you can email things across. I'm sitting in Bombay and I also look after the Calcutta Creative Department, and most of it is done on email. Well, those days are gone. I think that we have a much more mundane existence now. Because we have, Diet Pepsi for lunch or something like that. So I think it's changed. It's not as glamorous as it used to be in those days.
I think that now when you get into advertising, it just sucks you in, and you're there 7 days a week, 24/7. So I think that I think is one major change that has taken place. So Raj, what do you have to say about all that?
What a precedent he set up here. I thought it was supposed to be part of this entire group discussion. They would speak and I'd just keep butting in. It's not going to be a problem.
Even I thought the same thing.
Yeah, God, I mean, seriously, look at this age, 80s. God, 89, I got into advertising. So all I got was these great living legends and the stories, the Mr. Padam Singh and the Usha Bhandarkars and the Mohammed Khans and all of that. Entered advertising and realized 90s had nothing of that. So by 93, I left advertising. Stories we heard of 80s is, I think, that is still there. And we want to remember ourselves. When we talk advertising, I want to remember all those things that she wrote, she read out. Because that essentially was advertising. Today, I don't know much, but I still think it's LIAR. Nothing much has changed. So, another thing I realized in this book is it took you 3 decades to write all that crap about your clients. 3 decades, dude. When I joined the industry, I worked under greats like Subhash Ghai, Mukul Anand, the filmmakers, and making a commercial was a big thing. Was actually a big thing. The pre-productions, the entire thought process, the physical thing of, how do you make the film, 35 minutes cinema, it's been cut on a steam back and stuff like that. God, anyone makes films today, yeah? You have a mobile phone, you're a filmmaker. No, it's a fact. The idea today is bigger than the entire process of making it. And the simpler, the better. So today, there is no filmmaker of a claim. It's just, there's an idea, you got the idea, it's how you executed it. You got the moment right, you got the film. But essentially what's happened, like you said, that in advertising, it's become so simple to actually execute the entire thing 20 minutes before a meeting. The same thing has happened with films. But actually it's gone the other way around. The process of making films has become easy. Making films has become very easy.
I don't know if anybody can claim to understand cinema, but since you have told me that I do understand cinema, I will believe it. When Srijit Babu asked me to speak today or be on the panel today, I was wondering what he actually wanted from me, and I spent a large part of yesterday trying to figure out why I'm going to this event. Srijit Babu sent me a copy of the book last night, and I spent a large part of my night reading large portions of the book. And 2 thoughts struck me. The first was that both of us had started our career with JS Magazine in 69-70. We both started writing at the same time for the same column, more or less, Focus. And I still remember that my first interview was with B.R. Ishara, primarily because nobody wanted to interview him. Anyway, so we both started with JS. My articles never got published in JS, probably because I was not in Calcutta, I was in Bombay. And Sujit Babu was very lucky. He could go and pester Desmond Doig, who was the editor at that point of time. I couldn't do much with Ivan Kostra, who was looking after the Bombay office. And then I gravitated towards the Mumbai publications. And I got into journalism, he got into advertising, and we became natural enemies. The second thought that struck me was the same thought which struck Nagma. And I was wondering, can I say this in a room full of advertising people without getting thrashed? And I was just debating when I was sitting at the back over there on those backless benches. So I was sitting there and thinking, can I say this? When she said it, and I was very happy. The only thought that struck me was this some subliminal message that was coming through? Or whether it was intentional tongue-in-cheek. You never know with advertising guys, you know. There is one aspect of the book which interested me when I was reading it yesterday, last night. And that was that it is a memoir in the true sense of the word. Because an autobiography is centered around the self, that is centered around the author. Whereas a memoir is centered around the life and times of the author. I have always been telling my friends in the film industry that they must write books about themselves, about their parents, only because this kind of archiving and documentation is very essential. I feel what Sujit Babu is doing human service to the archiving and the documentation industry, and I think he should continue, write more books in the same vein. Thank you. We have all had our say. Now the discussion.
I just want to say one thing, since I'm sitting up here with two ad filmmaker and a filmmaker. When I first started in advertising, I remember the ad filmmakers were the giants, and we used to literally quake when we went for a shoot with, say, Shumantro Ghoshal of Equinox Films. And I still remember my very first TV commercial in Bombay was for Philips Steam Iron. And the steam iron had a transparent compartment with water in it. And of course, once you started using it, the steam would come out. So during the shoot, and we were told that, this guy, he knows his job, so just sit quietly and watch. So at one point I noticed, and of course the steam was being artificially created with smoke, so it was fine, but I noticed that the transparent compartment was empty. And I thought this will be visible in the film, and it will be very odd that there's steam coming out without water. So I was like, can I say something? So I said, let's stop the shoot for a moment. The agency has a point of view.
But I think I will take up for the ad filmmaker without he doing it himself. I was witness to one particular discussion between an agency and ad filmmaker where the poor guy had shot that fellow thinking like this. He says, ऐसे नहीं सोचता यार, ऐसे सोचना चाहिए. या तो ऐसे सोचो यार, कैसे सोचना रखेंगे, ऐसे रखेंगे क्या? And then eventually I found that these guys, these poor ad filmmakers, they take 5-6 shots of thinking, कैसे सोचेंगे? So I take objection, not in a very serious way of course, but I take objection to the fact that ad filmmakers are being maligned here, and the agency guys, since you have got us outnumbered, you are saying all kinds of things.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed the session, which, as my friend Nagma had said, that would be the fun part, and before that we had the book reading part, and before that we had the very personal liaison between Madhu and me. I was going to say Madhu Baba, sorry, I just said Madhu. I think it's now for me to say a bit of a thank you to all of you, and because I understand coming to an address in Mumbai from no matter wherever you stay is a bit of a... And Nagma, thank you very much, it's been really very kind of you. Komalika, I think, do I thank you again? But I can tell you in Bangla, খুব মজা হয়েছে. যেটা চাইছিলাম সেটাই হয়েছে. Thank you very much for coming in. It's been really what I wanted was that, get together of friends and family once again, and that's exactly what has happened. Acha, just 1 second please. There is a small... There is one small part, this is Komalika just made a suggestion, one little interesting part in the book.
Sometime in the late 50s, Mr. Ghoshal met Mr. Shannal during a break of a whole night music soiree which was held at the Maidan. As they had tea in between an artist change, Ghoshal asked Shannal what he was doing. On being told that he was not doing anything much, rather he had no work, Ghoshal offered him a job in advertising, to which Shannal tentatively asked, "Ami ki parbo? Can I do it?" Mr. Ghoshal thundered, "Ekhane kichu parte hoy na, chole olei hobe," which means that in advertising, you don't have to know anything, you just have to come and join.
He writes like he talks, he writes like he walks. It takes you back to the wonderful days at 55B Mirza Gandhi Street.